Hello there. I am Brian Walsh with Allegra Marketing Print and Mail and Latip Professional Networkers, as you see up here. And I am here with Kari Armenta from State Farm Insurance. And while we do have a property and casualty guy who does all your home and auto and stuff like that, our chapter is a little unique because we also have Kari who does life, health, and disability. So why don't you kind of introduce ourselves and just tell us a little bit about you, Kari?
Hi, yes, my name is Kari Armenta. As Brian mentioned, I am a life and health specialist from State Farm, Kevin of our State Farm agency. I've been there for a couple of years already, and we focus a lot on life insurance in our office. I have two boys, been married for about 15 years. And just excited to help our clients, educate them on life insurance and help them find something that fits their family.
Okay. So I know that there's a couple of different types of life insurance, kind of some for all budgets, all needs, all ages. I know those are kind of, and health, obviously. Those are all kind of the variables there. Can you tell us a little bit what the differences are and who needs what?
Yeah, of course. So State Farm does offer a couple different policies. We offer our term policies. We have our return of premium. We have our final expense and our whole life policies. The difference between them is, for example, I'll start with the term policy. Term policy is just a temporary policy. You can get it for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. They start off at $100,000 as a minimum death benefit requirement. And the way that it works is you make a monthly payment, quarterly or yearly, whatever is convenient for the client. And in return, State Farm will pay a death benefit. If God forbid something happens and you were to pass away, State Farm will go ahead and make that payment out to your beneficiary, which is tax-free. And those term policies, if you get it, for example, 20 years, at the end of those 20 years, that policy ends. So at that point, you would have to get a new policy. It is one of the cheapest ones we do offer. So if the budget only permits getting a term, I would highly suggest getting it. And you can also combine it with like a whole life policy as well. So it would benefit someone that maybe their budget doesn't do for something more. We have a return of premium. Those are also 10, 20, or 30 years. They also start at $100,000. And with those policies, same thing, you make your monthly payment yearly or quarterly. And at the end of those 30 years, so hopefully you live a long life, nothing happens to you. You go through those, say you get a 30-year, you go through those 30 years. And at the end of those 30 years, State Farm will give you back every single penny that you put into the policy. So people love those kind of policies because you're not losing anything. There's still that death benefit, but you get everything back at the end. So those are also very popular.
Our final different than
exactly. Because with the term policy, unfortunately, you don't get anything back. You're just paying for that benefit. With the return of premium, you do. So they're a little bit more pricey than a term. But it's one of the middle policies when it comes to premium. That they're not. Our whole lives are a little bit more expensive. Our final expense policies are our $10,000 funeral expense policy. You can get that after the age of 55, and it's like a whole life. You make a payment, same thing, monthly, yearly, quarterly. In return, State Farm, unfortunately, the day we pass, it will provide your beneficiary $10,000. The requirements, underwriting requirements, it's close to nothing. They're really easy to get. And those are also popular for someone that unfortunately never thought about getting life insurance, and you get to a certain age in life that you can only afford, something small. So those are good for at least covering funeral expenses. And then we have our whole life policies. Our whole life policies, you have it your whole life. And the great thing about them is they have a cash component. So there's a cash value in it that you can use for loans, for example. So one of the ones that I had mentioned that it's a whole life policy, but it's one of the best policies the State Farm does offer, is our paid life policies. It's a policy that you have for a lifetime, but you don't have to pay for it your whole life. It's you can get it for 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years. And basically, say you pick a 10-year, you pay it for those 10 years. And then at the end of those 10 years, you're done paying it, but the policy is still active and it's accruing interest for you. Those policies are good for someone that wants to invest in their future. Life policy is not just for when you die, but also for retirement. You don't want to be living paycheck to paycheck, after age 63, 65. So those are great because, you can get money from that policy, borrow that money from your own policy to be able to help with any expenses that you have.
Well, that was a lot.
Yes.
So the whole life policies, though, I assume based on the name that you pay your whole life, but you said no, you pick a 10, a 20, or 30.
Well, yes, those are, so our whole life policies, we have our whole life and then we have our pay lives. They're very similar. For our whole life, they're a little cheaper. You do pay your whole life or to the age of 101. And your whole life, you pay your whole life. And it is, if you're looking for something that it has the whole life component, meaning that you have the benefit your whole life, but are not willing to pay your whole life for it, then you would get a pay. Those are a little more expensive. But if you want a whole life, like a $25,000, $100,000, you are able to get that, and you would pay in it your whole life. They're smaller in premium, but the cash keeps accruing since day one.
So at the bare minimum, somebody should have a term life policy to make sure that everything's covered for now.
Yes, I would highly suggest that. If for some reason the budget doesn't do for more, please get a term policy. It's one of the cheapest ones, and you have something. It does start with $100,000 minimum requirement, but for example, somebody I'll give you an example. Me, I'm 38 years old, and for a 30-year term policy at $100,000, it's about $35 a month. It's really nothing. Yeah, you spend that at Starbucks. There you go. Yeah, coffee.
We both went to the same place. Yep.
Exactly. So yes, I would at least recommend having a term policy, and hopefully down the road, your finances changes and you can get an additional policy like a whole life, or convert that term into a whole life.
Right. And I know that your main focus is the life insurance aspect of it. But I know that you guys do also offer like health insurance and disability insurance and stuff like that.
Yes, we do. So at Kevin Navarro State Farm Agency, we don't have health insurance, but we do offer great policies that would help you in case you have a health issue. For example, we have our short-term disability policies. We recommend those for everyone, whether you have health insurance or not, business owners especially. The way that it works is if you get injured at work, playing a sport with your child, God forbid you have a car accident, for example, and we had the situation at the office that this client of ours broke his two hands. Unfortunately, you can't work at that point. So with our short-term disability policies, there's a 30-day waiting period. So say you get hurt, you wait 30 days, and your doctor says, Brian, I'm sorry, you can't work at this time. You broke your two arms, you have to go through therapy. We put in a claim for you, and you tell us how much you want to get paid as a benefit. So say that you pick $2,000, you're trying to cover your mortgage and a couple of the bills. So after those 30 days, you submit a claim, and State Farm will pay you those $2,000 every month for up to 12 months, or until your doctor says, hey, Brian, you're good to go, you can go back to work. So it takes away the burden knowing that you have no income coming through, but then you still have to pay your mortgage and your other bills. So that's a great policy to get. And what I love about this policy is keep in mind that it's not like workers' comp. It's not just if you get hurt at work. It's also if your regular life, like I said, you get hurt doing something at the house or a car accident. It could also be for an illness, something that's not pre-existing, like cancer. Even for COVID, we've been covering for COVID as well if you're disabled for longer than 30 days. So overall, it covers any aspect of your life, of whatever happens to you, and gives you that insurance that you'll have that money to pay for some of the bills that you have.
Right. Yeah, that's good to hear, because I know a lot of insurance companies and things like that are, getting, like, where COVID, oh, it's a natural pandemic, it's not covered. And a lot of the business policies experience that, like loss of income and stuff like that, that the insurance company's like, yeah, no, sorry.
Yeah, it's so new that a lot of them don't cover it. We're lucky enough to have done it. Everyone has experienced, unfortunately, we know someone that has had COVID, and some is nothing, and some get pretty ill. So it's good to have that kind of policy, because you never know what's going to happen.
Right. Cool. Well, is there anything else you want to say about State Farm? Otherwise, I just want to ask you about your experience with LaTip.
Well, with State Farm, it's a good company, not because I work for it, but it is a good company when it comes to any type of policies, life and health. We have one of the best products out there. So if you guys are interested in getting more information about life insurance, or short-term disability, for example, you can locate us. We're at 945 South Bartlett Road in Streamwood, right on the corner of Irving Park and Bartlett. We are open 9 to 5. Everyone's bilingual in the office, and with no commitment. You can go in there or set up an appointment, and we'll be happy to give you the options and try to find something that best fits your family. And LaTip, I joined LaTip a few months ago, and it's great. I definitely recommend. So if anyone's interested, it has a business and it's looking to network and work with your public speaking, let us know. We definitely can help you with that. LaTip is it's not just family. I mean, it's a great group to be a part of, and I appreciate that I've been welcomed there. Hoping that I learn a lot from you guys. I have already, so definitely appreciate that.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, if you want any more information about LaTip, I am the membership chair, so you can shoot me an email, Brian, Brian, at Allegra, ALLEGRA, Palatine.net, and I'll invite you to one of our Tuesday morning meetings. For those of you who may be seeing this on the Basket Brigade page, I did want to give a special shout out to Kari and Kevin Navarro from State Farm. They've been a great sponsor every year. This is our 6th year, and Kevin and State Farm have worked with us every single year to help us feed families at Thanksgiving time. So, Kari, thank you very much, and I look forward to working with you some more.
Definitely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Of course.
Have a good one.